When I started out on this journey about a week ago, my first thought was that I would never be as good at thoughts from places as John Green. But that was okay, because I was having fun and I was exploring my home and a place I hadn't been in a while. The first thing we did was hiked across this big, huge field of grass. And this is the grass that I like to call the Jurassic Park grass, because it's basically the same kind of grass that the velociraptors disappeared in. Notice how much my dog disappears. And it just reminds me of home and all sorts of fun things that I used to do when I used to hike in Iowa a lot. And so it was nice to just be back home and enjoy hiking.
We hiked to the cave. What's
Then,
up?
of course, my brother called me to remind me that I was still actually in normal society. We hiked above the creek to my favorite place, which is this cave here. It's a cave that is owned by us. It's on our property. And it's pretty small, but it still has always been one of the best memories for me growing up here. And it's one of the things I'm going to miss when I move to Orlando, because there's really not going to be a cave in my apartment complex. And I'm going to miss being able to hike down here and sort of enjoy exploring the cave. This is sort of what the cave is like. It's made of limestone and it's full of fossils. And just seeing it again reminded me how much fun I used to have collecting rocks and exploring everything, and how much I was really, really, really going to miss hiking through there and crawling through the cave on my hands and knees and showing you guys all of the things that are involved there. The cave is muddy and dark and damp, but that doesn't make it any less fun, and it doesn't make the memories any less interesting. And the cave always features a lot of my favorite things, which are like stalactites and stalagmites, and perhaps my favorite, this little brown bat. He's super tiny, but it's friends like him that always made coming to the cave a lot of fun for me as a child. And I named all the bats, and I explored. The cave was full of raccoons, and there were all sorts of other things, insects and other sorts of creatures living in the cave. And I really miss coming down there and seeing all of the wild animals and crawling back into the cave to see how far it took me to get stuck in between the rocks. And so it was nice to go see it one last time before I move away, and perhaps only visit it once a year, if that. Of course, the cave wasn't the only thing. I looked at a bunch of trees, I looked at the outside of the cave, I looked at everything else that we saw along this walk, like the waterfall that is up the Dry Creek bed near where I live. It used to be one of my favorite places to hang out when I was younger, and although it's been too dry when I visited for there to actually be water pouring down, it was still nice to see it and to look around and see where all the raccoons had been coming to kind of wash their food. That was time to head home, and we took a hike across the creek, and my dad set out rocks so that he could cross across the water. But they looked too dangerous and rocky for me, and I, of course, would much rather just walk through the water than go ahead and jump across it. So he made his way across, and I made my way through the creek, because I believe that that's much more fun. And it's really made me realize how much I'm going to miss Iowa.
So that's been your little outing in Iowa. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next week.